Hi everyone, welcome to this week's message. I'm here in Chicago after a very wild adventure, and we've been so blessed to be hosted by a beautiful human. I'm here for a breathwork experience that's happening on Saturday, June 15. Very excited about that. And this week's message is coming in a video, and thank you to some feedback I received for this particular format, and I'll just jump right into it. When we do breath work, when we do different modalities, there's processes that take place. They take place on all levels: spiritual, mental, physical. And once you start your journey, it doesn't mean you've started with breathwork. It means you might have started it in some other ways. And I say usually a journey starts with a crisis, and that is either a health crisis, a family crisis, something happened in your life that shook you up, and you kind of grasp the essence of life, and you started searching. And we're going to talk about the search and what ultimately that leads us to. But today we're going to talk about the experiences in the different stages when you integrate. So the first thing is, in class or sometimes in individual sessions, I talk about the line. So Joseph Campbell calls this the line, and anything below the line is really subconscious. These are all of our experiences from our life, ancestral, from our lineage, depending on your belief system. That could include some of your past lives, and in general, universal experiences, and ultimately the collective unconscious that Jung talks about. So anything below here, we really don't have a conscious grasp, control, understanding of. On your journey, you might have noticed that some things are triggered, that you have those habitual reactivities, that in particular situations some emotions come up. But unless we move it from below the line above the line, it is hard to process. And when we do breath work, when we do other modalities like deep yoga experiences, even with cold plunge, with plant medicine, with meditation and prayer, we start moving that material. So imagine it's like a river. Stanislav Grof says that it's like a river, and the water starts going down, and suddenly all these big boulders start being exposed. This is the only way to process them. The only way to process is to start moving all of this material up. When we move that material, certain things happen. Your emotions will change. You may experience a surge of old memories, or you're like, I've dealt with that. I've already done my mom and dad and the grandparents and all this. If it's coming up, you haven't. Quite often we intellectualize, and I talk a lot about that. We intellectualize, or we feel too much. And we have to realize that everything in this universe is balanced, the yin and yang. We have to live in a balance. We have to realize that if we're feeling too much and we haven't really come here to intellectually move it into the world, to integrate it in our day-to-day experience, it's not balanced. If we're thinking too much, if we're thinking our way through our feelings, it means we're not balanced. Same with the masculine and the feminine. That's a theme that keeps coming up. We need to have those energies balanced, and that doesn't mean necessarily sexuality. It means just that energy, because everything in our life has a masculine and feminine part. When emotions start coming up, sometimes I can speak of breath work in this particular case. Sometimes we feel very elated. There's a surge of energy. We're absolutely ecstatic about life. And then what happens? We start using that energy. You've probably heard me after class. Please don't go and clean your house. Don't go and run all the errands. Don't start calling friends and making arrangements and going, because that is a special energy, and it's teaching you how to preserve it. Same thing happens if we push some material from below the line, and if grayscale emotions appear. I call grayscale emotions, emotions of anger, sadness, despair. They may overcome you. So that's a sign to allow them to be. You need to integrate them into your day-to-day life. Quite often these are emotions we suppress, and this is where most of the problems come. And we start using things like toxic positivity suppression, or we're gonna be fine, I'm just gonna think my way through this, and I got this. We get distracted with other things and doing. Usually when these things come up, we focus on doing. This is a way of suppressing them. So you cannot suppress them. That's the unfortunate part. You have to experience them. You have to allow them to come to the surface so they can spread and they can lead you to path. They're ultimately here to heal you, to show you the path, and to be integrated, so you don't have to have them anymore with you and carry them everywhere as a luggage. So allow them. So it does happen after breathwork to experience not necessarily an ecstatic explosion and happiness. You may experience something else, but ultimately this will reach such a beautiful point if you allow it to manifest, if you allow it to show you where you need to go. Just follow the emotions. Ask them, what do you need from me? What is happening? What is the deep cause of these emotions? Am I willing to see it? Same thing if you have very happy and ecstatic emotions. Why this resurface? Did you release something and that was an effect? Or do you release the happy and there's something underneath? Same thing. Ask that happiness. Where are you coming from? Where do you want to go? And the most important thing is to give yourself some space. Give yourself space. Whatever is coming up from whatever modality you've been, even sometimes going in nature may trigger these emotions, because these are all natural ways of processing. Remember, we have lost the ability to process. We have lost even the simple ability. That's why we do the breath jam songs, is to shake off all of the stagnant energy in our bodies. So kind of the theme of this week is the types of emotions that get released during a breath work, and to fully embrace them and allow all of them to come out. This is the true healing. We can't just process positive, or we can get stuck only in the negative. Nothing is permanent. We live in a constant change. And one of the beautiful teachings from Vipassana is exactly this. Everything in life is constant change. Our cells renew, our breaths are not even the same, all the fluids in our body keep moving. The life outside, no matter how much we try to control it, is not in our control. So there's no point of trying to stay in one space, because that's exactly how you're going to feel. This is trying to control. That is how it feels. You're constantly tight. You're not able to move. It's unnatural. So we have to allow the emotions to move. Emotion literally means moving out. So I encourage you to embrace whatever it is that you're dealing with right now. Embrace it. It is your teacher. I am here for you. Our community is here for you. I have the last class for this season before I head out to Europe and do my classes there. The last class will be on June 26th. It is called From Release to Grace, so I highly encourage you to come and join us, so we can help you move all of this in a supportive environment. If you are struggling, if you are unsure, remember, there's so many people out there just like you. We are all in this together. As much as this has been used for different purposes, the reason why it's so powerful, because it's true. We're in this together. Sending you much love. Embrace all the emotions. Embrace anything that comes up your way. Don't try to control it. You can't.